Biped lang naman yan. Sayaw-sayaw, tapos puro laro lang.
When you live for a strong purpose, then hard work isn't an option. It's a necessity.
C-Fuse, A-Fuse, 4-Fuse, Biped.
A Day in Our Life as a BPED FS Students Part 4.
So just like in our previous videos or vlogs, we are here to share our reflections and experiences toward our FS observations at
Bautista National High School.
As a pre-service teacher, my approach is to have a comprehensive understanding of the curriculum requirements, a deep knowledge of my student development stages and learning styles, the creation of detailed lesson plan that allows for a gradual progression of complexity, the flexible implementation of these plans using a variety of teaching methods, the regular assessment of student progress to ensure that they are meeting the curriculum requirements, and effective classroom management to create a positive and engaging learning environment.
As a pre-service teacher, I set appropriate and achievable learning outcomes that are aligned with learning competencies by first thoroughly understanding the learning competencies outlined in the curriculum, analyzing the specific needs and abilities of my students, breaking down the competencies to small, having a measurable objectives, ensuring that the objectives are realistic and attainable based on the students' developmental levels, and regularly reflecting and assessing on the progress of my students to make a necessary adjustment to the learning outcomes and instructional strategies.
To plan, manage, and implement a developmentally sequenced teaching and learning process. It is important to align curriculum requirements with the specific needs and characteristics of the learners, while also considering the diverse teaching context and adapting instructional strategies accordingly.
I will set achievable and appropriate learning outcomes that are aligned with learning competencies by first thoroughly understanding the learning competencies outlined in the curriculum, analyzing the specific needs and abilities of my students, breaking down the competencies into smaller, measurable objectives, ensuring that the objectives are realistic and attainable, based on the students' developmental levels, and regularly assessing and reflecting on the progress of my students to make any necessary adjustments to the learning outcomes and instructional strategies.
Curriculums are basically the foundation of the teaching and learning process. Having said that, schools have different ways on how they can effectively carry out such existing curriculum that the teacher should take action for them to best supplement student needs. I am aware that those curricula are existing. It is the best way to measure specific capability of students from their skills, talents, and specific techniques. These curriculums are more appreciated because of its impact to the students' moral, targeting the values, belief, attitudes, and self-identity.
We are now in a 21st century where students are not interested to listen to the discussion in the class if they find learning boring, and most often the teacher is talking. As a future educator, we need to consider in our objectives the activities connected to the topic where students can best share their knowledge and apply the information given to them. We all knew that effective teaching is a result of good outcome of the students. In that way, students learn in a fun and engaging way. At the same time, both teacher and students achieve the goals of learning.
We don't have any idea if Ma'am Joanna follows her daily lesson plan, up until she allows us to take picture of her lesson plan. We are amazed how she handled to follow it with passion. A good teacher should be critical thinker. She should not just depend on the resources available. Ma'am Joanna also allows the students to interact and share their knowledge about the topic. In that way, the teaching and learning process are not just relying on the resources prepared by the teacher. Real-life situations and scenarios are also given to the students to develop their problem-solving skills and to prepare them in the application of the learnings. Ma'am Joanna's resourcefulness was very noticeable. from the activity, I am an architect. Instead of allowing students to buy new art materials, she provided them use illustration boards to accomplish the task, which is very admirable if I am her student.
Learning without goals is like entering forest without assurance to leave it safe. Objectives will determine whether teaching and learning process will be effective or not helpful at all. Teaching is also considering what's best for the students to cope up to the learning methodologies and to adapt to the new knowledge. Therefore, it is more important to know what is the purpose of why do you need to teach and what are the things you need to consider to be reliable, effective, and professional teachers. Objectives must be considered to meet teaching and learning goals. So, as a pre-service teacher, we need to make sure that objectives must be achieved because it serves as compass to help pull the strength of the students and push their self-doubt. If we have concrete plan on our teaching, we have no excuses to miss specific aspects to cater. Therefore, intellectual capacities are just not developed but also their morals.